esteemed President of EduScare Research University, Professor Ruturaj Saikia, esteemed Vice President, Dr. Pratisha Madam, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Professor Rajesh Kanurji, Vice Chancellor, Professor Mayoji, and other staff members of this prestigious university. So today I am going to present my slide without any further delay. I must welcome all the participants, teachers, experts, those who have joined in this platform. I'll be trying to make you understand this journey because nowadays the effectiveness of drafting a high quality thesis is always challenging, and we need that thesis must be published in a sound manner, and academic publication is required not only for the benefit of the scholar but also for the benefit of the society. So looking into that, again I welcome all participants to this program in mechanics of manuscript thesis drafting and funding of research project with application of AI, CPD, AI 2024. My topic is effective mechanisms for drafting of high quality thesis and academic publications. With this, I'm going to start my presentation. We know always it is a fact that research is always a kind of like a systematic investigation into and the study of materials and sources in order to establish the facts and reach new conclusions. So it is a scientific approach always. The researcher in quest of new, new outcomes. It is for the researcher to use the existing knowledge or by creating some new, the process to land at the end. And with this, I will be telling you that a PhD thesis is expected to make an original contribution to the knowledge within the field of the study. You know, several key methods and strategies being used by the researcher, by the experts, by the supervisor to ensure clarity, coherence, and academic rigor. So looking into that, I have 11 points for you. I would like to share with you that 11 points you must remember. The first is thorough research. Second is clear thesis statement. Third is structured outlines. Then fourth is effective introduction. Then fifth is comprehensive literature review. Then sixth is methodological rigor. Then seventh is data analysis and interpretation. And the next is coherent argumentation. The next is critical reflection. The last but not least is concise conclusion as well as proofreading, effective proofreading. So these are the fundamentals when we are going to start writing an effective. When we are talking about effective thesis and publication, you see, without giving contribution to these 11 areas, the thesis may not become so effective, or we may struggle for publications. So looking into that, my first point is thorough research. You know very well that why I am telling thorough research, because thorough research is very much important because you have to go for thorough literature review, relevant literature review. You have to take along with that, you have to identify the gap, and you have to find out the area for proper study, proper investigation, and you must make sure that the use of most prominent sources and critically evaluated credibility of the information you are gathering is very important. That is why my first point is thorough research. So when we are talking about thorough research, we must take care of all those things. Then second is clear thesis statement. When I'm talking about clear thesis statement, you see, I will show you Hanson, I mean to say at the end of my slide presentation, I'll show you 3-4 pages of my own experience, how the clear thesis statement can be drawn. So this is a very important, you must be very much clear about that, and the clear and very, I mean to say concise kind of like thesis statement is required, because the main argument or main research question of your thesis to be accommodated in this statement process. I mean to say, you have to make your thesis statement very specific, and you must make it debatable also. Make it debatable, and you focus to guide the real direction of your research and writing. So that clear thesis statement will guide you properly. I mean to say, the entire thesis will be guided through proper uh, clear statement, if actually you are going to prepare all those things. Then structured outline. Why it is structured? Because outlines, we know everybody, we know each and everyone that we know the outline, but why I have written structured outline? So structured outline is a kind of like outlining of the main sections and subsections of your thesis in such a manner from the beginning, the reviewer or the experts or the subject experts will become very much happy when your idea is going to be written in a very structured manner. Because you see, you must go with a logical flow and the scope of your study. Then only your, I mean to say, the importance, I mean to say, importance of your thesis will be very high. Attention can be drawn, and you can establish your idea before the experts. Then fourth is effective introduction. You always remember that introduction must be effective, because you have to when we are talking about original contribution, means crafting. We are going to craft and very emerging and a very sound introduction that provides about the outlines about research, and that should represent the significance of your topic, and that will help you to outline your objectives, and that will help to outline your scope of the studies. Then it will be helpful to make your I mean to say introduction more prominent and sound. So that is why we need effective introduction. Then next is comprehensive literature review. We know very well that comprehensive literature review is very important for the scholar, because that will help you to analyze, and you are going to synthesize your idea along with the relevant literature, and you will be more focused, because you see, you will identify the key themes, and you will identify the gaps through your literature review, and that will address your objective of your thesis. Then the next one is methodological rigor. So methodological rigor means, you see, it describes, because clearly when we are talking about the contribution, your knowledge in your specific field, when we are talking about that, how the methodological rigor will be important. Because you see, when we are going to write a thesis, we have to include our research design, data collection methods, then we have to go with your analytical techniques, what we have employed, and we have to ensure the methodological rigor by justifying our approach, addressing potential limitations, and explaining uh, how this method contribute to the validity and reliability of your findings. That is very important. That is why methodological rigor is very important. Then next is data analysis and interpretation. When we are talking about data analysis and interpretation, the data must be analyzed very systematically, and we must use the appropriate statistical methods, or like qualitative analysis technique or quantitative, what we have decided that we have to take to make our research more appropriate, so that our data analysis and interpretation both will be correct in the sense of reaching at our goal. So in this way, we have to establish our interpretation of our findings in relation to our questions or hypothesis we have designed. I'll be showing you how you are going to making questions for a particular topic. I shall show you at the end of my presentation. And the next is coherent argumentation. You see, coherent argumentation, why I have taken this word argumentation? Because you see, anything, if this is debatable, because developing a very coherent and a persuasive argument, it is a persuasive argument. It is a persuasive argument throughout your thesis, because you have to defend, you have to make very much flawless of your thesis. So in this way, you are going to present the evidence, and you are going to present the reasons to support your claims, and you have to ensure a very logical, I mean to say, a transition between the between different section and paragraph, and you have to maintain a very clear line of argumentation that I mean to say, that leads a very conducive, I mean to say, end, I mean to say, making you reach at the conclusion. And the next is critical reflection, because you see, the thesis will be considered as a kind of like original contribution. How and why it will be, I mean to say, will be taken that your thesis is original. Original does not mean is below 10% plagiarism. That is not originality. That is a kind of like ad hoc arrangement to evaluate your thesis, whether it is copied from anywhere else, any sources you have cited or not. That is a plagiarism software are there, different softwares are there. But original contribution is nothing like this. You are going to derive, you are going to, your outcome of your thesis is going to be more, I mean to say, focused to contribute to the knowledge of your field, not only for an individual, but also to the society. So it should be critical in reflection. Critical in reflection means throughout the drafting process, throughout the writing process, you have to evaluate alternate perspectives. If at all alternate perspectives are there, you have to see, and you have to see the limitations. You have to discuss the implications of your findings, and you have to demonstrate. You have to demonstrate very honestly your intellectual ability by addressing and considering the significance of your research within the field. That is known as critical reflection. So you are going to make critically, you are going to establish your idea before the experts. And the next is concise conclusion. You see, the main findings of your research that is contributing in a very concise manner, you have to conclude, because you see significance of a research and its kind of like implication for future study or future practice to be I mean to say to be visible. I mean to say that must be prominent. You have to avoid introducing new information in conclusion, because your outcomes will be only your conclusion, and beyond that you cannot write anything. And instead of focusing on synthesizing key insights and recommendations, you should not write anything, I mean to say, new, because that you have never gone through your research. So in that way, you have to go for concise conclusion, then proofreading and thorough editing, because this is a part. I have seen many grammatical mistakes people are doing, scholars are doing, because they are lacking carefulness, and they are lacking professionalism. And you should take the help of different tools that during my presentation I will be trying to tell you. And you have to make it sure that there is no grammatical mistake, there is no spelling mistake, there is no mistakes in punctuation. So that will bring quality of your research. So these are the 11 important points I have shared with you. Then next I will go for the strategies for drafting a high quality thesis. Because I told you thorough research. Here I have written thorough research planning. So planning is a part of strategy. How you will implement that strategy? Begin with a well-defined research question or hypothesis and conduct thorough preliminary research to ensure its relevance and novelty. You have to develop a comprehensive research plan outlining the methodology, data collection procedures, and analysis techniques. And the next is literature review mastery. What is mastery? Because literature review, you have to conduct an extensive literature review to understand the existing research in your field and identify the gap and the area for further exploration. And through literature review mastery, you have to synthesize the literature effectively and highlighting the key themes, debates, and methodologies relevant to your research. Then you have to clear and focus thesis statement. Because you see, we are not writing a paper, we are writing a thesis. It is a crafting, it is art. Art means to do, science means to know. So you have to perform here, you have to do. You have to craft a clear and focused thesis statement, and main argument you have to establish, and research question must be highlighted. And you have to ensure that your thesis statement is specific, debatable, and sufficiently narrow to guide the direction of your research, as I told you. Then structured outline, I have told to you, you have to you have to go for a very clear outlines of your thesis, organizing your idea into different sections and subsections, I have already told. And use the outline to maintain clarity, logical flow throughout the document, ensuring that each section contributes to the overall argument. Overall argument means this problem statement you have taken and you are going to defend scientifically. You have to prove. The next is effective writing process. So when I am talking about effective writing process, you have to dedicate sufficient time for writing, revising your thesis. You have to focus on clarity, coherence, and precision on language. And you have to break down the writing process into manageable tasks, setting realistic goals, and you have to find out the deadlines for each sections. You have to take the time accordingly. And critical thinking and analysis. When we are talking about originality, you must have critical thinkings. As I told you, critical reflection in my previous slide. But here I am telling you critical thinking and analysis. Because critical thinking and analysis will engage in critical ways, that critical analysis and interpretation of your findings, questioning assumptions, and considering alternative perspective. You have to demonstrate intellectual rigor by evaluating the strengths and weakness of your research and acknowledging the limitations. Then the next is peer feedback and revision. You see, because we are writing a very creative thesis, so seek the feedback from the peers, from your mentor, from your supervisor, from your advisors, from your friends, from your seniors throughout the drafting process. And incorporating constructive criticism to improve, it is required to improve the quality of your thesis. And you are supposed to revise, edit your thesis thoroughly, paying attention, grammarly, style, formatting, and citation accuracy. And the next is critical replication. Because when we are talking about critical replication, it makes you more scientific, because here you are going to engage in critical reflection throughout the drafting process. You have to evaluating the alternate perspective, acknowledging limitations, discussing the implications of your findings. Then demonstrate intellectual honesty by addressing, by considering the significance of your study. Then this is the format you are going to adopt, how effective thesis drafting can be possible. Because you see, you need a title, you have to write abstract, you have to write table of contents. These sections, these three, are known as preliminary sections. And when you are writing the research problems, rationale of the study, discussion, I mean to say literature review, then objectives, hypothesis, significance, and our expected contribution of the study, scope and limitations of your research area. These five terms, what I told you, 5 points, is known as the research background and discussion. The preliminary section, then research background and discussion. Then you land at the methodology approach, methodology section. The methodology, as I told you, is a design or a method, and data analysis. Appropriate data will be collected, and you are supposed to analyze all those things by taking the help of different, I mean to say, mechanisms, tools are available. Then the next step is program management stage. So in that stage, you have to go for a very ethical consideration, plagiarism check, grammar check, all those things, editing, proofreading, and potential risk problems, how you have addressed to those problems. And research program, I mean to say, time frame, budget, resources, health, safety consideration. These are known as the program management areas. And the supplement area, the supplementary section uh, is carrying references, and any appendix are there that you have to take. So this is the beauty, this is the best way to start your writing of your thesis. Then, the research gap, as I told you. So research gap may be in population, because you have studied the previous, I mean to say, the literature review. You have engaged yourself in reading literature review, because you see, why I am telling you that you must study the research gap properly, because a PhD thesis is expected to make a original contribution, as I told you. And the contribution may involve advancing theoretical understanding, and introducing novel methodologies or approaches, and generating empirical findings. That is the extended knowledge you are going to give. For that, you need to identify the research gap very, very prominently. So research gap may be in population, research gap may be in analysis, research gap may be in implications, research gap may be in methods, research gap may be in concepts, research gap may be in perspectives, research gap may be in gap in theory, research gap may be in methodology. So there are several areas are there. You have to find out the gap, and that gap will become a kind of like a scope for you. Because you see, why I'm telling, because a PhD thesis is you are going to involve in a very comprehensive investigation process, because research problem or the topic you have taken, that is that bears that often spanning kind of like different chapters and sections. And the scope of this thesis should be significant enough, and that will allow you, that will strengthen you for getting the highest degree of the university is known as doctoral degree, PhD degree. And for that, you have to go for a rigorous methodology and findings. Rigorous methodology and findings is possible when you will find the research gap properly. Research gap finding is very easy, is very easy. You have to involve yourself, because you see, through critical analysis, interpretation of different literature, theoretical framework, that will help you to find out the expected gap, and you will engage yourself critically and evaluate the alternate perspectives. And there are 5 possible problem statement areas are there. The first is, I mean to say, who. You must specify areas where selected problem affects. Who are affected? I mean to say society, individual, community, industry, services, or any problem. Who is the, you have to specify the area where selected a problem affected. Who has affected? Who have been affected? And what are the specific boundaries of the problem and impact? What are the impacts if it is left unsolved? What significant impact on solving the problems? And when represents, the third W represents about examining the occurrence of the issue. When it needs to be fixed, there must be some timeline. And where it arises, issue occurrence, the place, and why you are making all those things. The last W, why you are making this? You are making this because it is important to fix the problem for you, for the society, for the purpose of your problem you have taken in your research, in your thesis. Because you see, if at all the problem statement will become weak, then you will lose the logical progress of your writing of your thesis. Because you see logical progress, because you see research problem, research question is very important to take you up to findings and conclusion. If at all you are weak in research, making research statement, problem statement, or making the research questions inadequately, that will make you, put you in difficulty to reach you at the findings and conclusions. So, my dear friends, you must take it very effectively, very carefully, that the significance of research is very important and laying on the research problems and research statements. And artificial intelligence has significantly impacted various aspects, I mean to say aspects of the thesis drafting and publication process. Because through artificial intelligence, we are enhancing the efficiency, accuracy, and quality. So these are the areas where I mean to say, you can use the artificial intelligence. Different tools are there. Literature review is a section where you can use artificial intelligence. Data analysis is an area where you can use artificial intelligence. Writing assistance, you can use artificial intelligence. Plagiarism detection, you can take the help of different softwares. Turnitin and other softwares are there. Automated formatting and citation is softwares are available. Peer review assistance, it is also available. Language translation and localization is also available. Publication recommendation software is also available, looking into your uh, objective, looking into your title, we can search. And automated abstract generation software is also there. But you see, softwares are there, but you have to handle, because all software may not work as you are requiring for your thesis. Because artificial intelligence has a growing role in education. Artificial tools are increasingly used in education. It gives benefits, direct benefits to the researcher, to the students. And artificial intelligence also involved in growth. It projects the growth, because artificial intelligence in education is set to grow by near about 35% from 2022 to 2020, 2030. From previous year, this is 24, I'm talking about 2022 to 2030. Because you see, different tutorial systems have been developed, different platforms have been developed. And AI tool has become an emerging tool for the students, because for the scholars, because you may write many things. You may use, I mean to say, for your thesis, I mean to say, I told you the areas. And when I'm talking about the areas, I must tell you that it is the impact of artificial intelligence on learning is having some high rate of benefits we are deriving, because it saves time, it saves effort, it gives you a very premium thought, and your thinking process will be enriched, because artificial intelligence presents a significant intellectual endeavor and showcase your ideas, your ability to conduct an original research. And your original research contributes to scholarly discourse and meet the rigorous standards of your thesis, of your defined discipline. Because artificial intelligence applications in thesis drafting and publication process streamline workflows, improve research quality, and facilitate broader dissemination of scholarly work in academic community. So these are the areas, and some artificial tools you might be knowing. These are the emerging artificial tools I am going to share with you. The first one is elicit. Elicit means enhancing literature discovery with precision. So this is a powerful artificial intelligence research assistance tool that empowers very efficiently discover and access relevant academic papers and literatures that you need. You use this software freely available, and it utilizes natural language process, and automatically extract the key phrases, sentences, and paragraphs from the research paper. So you got it. Now you cite that paper as your source. You got the idea, because you have some queries, you got the references that you need. And this AI tool significantly reduces the time spent on manual researcher, I mean to say manual searching of literatures, of different publications. And it enhances the precision of results very accurately. Because you see, manually you have to see, you have to read, but this illicit software will find out where your ideas, related ideas have been published. So that source you got, you will be getting 100,000 sources, 500 sources. You select. So you will be in the receiving end. You will not run after with different publications. You have to download and you have to do all those things. And it is a very, very relevant and impactful software. And the next is Skite. It evaluating the credibility and connection between the papers. It is a very, very renowned artificial intelligence tool. So when we are talking about artificial intelligence tool, it focuses on evaluating the credibility of the research paper by analyzing the citation context. You see, you will be getting this Kite software will give you the more citation papers. I mean to say citation level is very high. So the paper without citation, if at all you will be getting, that means nobody has followed that paper. So you will be getting more relevant, and this level of citations context, it will be very high. So it will scan the artificial intelligence Skite software will scan and analyze millions of documents and provide you accurate citation matrix for your search, what you are searching. And it is helpful not only giving the citation matrix, but it helps you to complete your summary recommendations and similarity checks also. So it acts as a kind of like plagiarism check software also. So you have to track the citations, discover new research gaps. If you need, you use this software. This is the most comprehensive, beautiful software. And Research Rabbit, the next software is Research Rabbit. It is automating citation management. This artificial intelligence powered your literature review tool and automates the tedious task of citation management, because that citation management is possible. You write something, you need to take the help of citation. It will automatically, you will be getting, because you see these are the Jatero, Mendeleev, endnotes. These are making easy to manage your references. And another beautiful software is there, Google Bard, unleashing the power of schematic search. So Google Bard is an experimental artificial intelligence service. It generates the text, summarizes this text, and generate images. Lot many things. You can use this. It delivers the relevant and very accurate results. And it optimizes the efficiency and effectiveness of your literature review. That will become very prominent. And Chat PDF is a very powerful summarization and review software. It is a very innovative, you use this, it is a very innovative software. It enhances your literature review experience. You can upload the PDFs through this software. You can upload to it, and it functions as an interactive chatbot. Very, very interactive and designed specifically for PDF documents. You might have downloaded many papers. You just once you upload to this software, and you're making your this literature review making one time efficient and insightful. A review will be highly effective. So these 5 artificial intelligence tools empower scholars to accomplish through literature review with increased speed and accuracy. And for research methodology, there are different tools are there, SPSS are there, and other softwares are there. But specifically, I have taken these 5 softwares for you. You just start your journey with those 5 softwares. It is freely available. You just go for pre-registration and you can use this software. It is highly effective. The next is how we'll go for strategies for publishing high quality academic proposition. For proposition, maybe your thesis, maybe your paper. So we have to target journals and publisher selection. You have to identify the reputed journals and publishers in your field. That publisher must have publishing the similar line of publications. But if at all the publishers or the journal is not doing the similar type of publications, your proposition or your thesis or your paper may be refused by them. So you see the impact factor. If it is a journal, if it is a publisher, you see their distribution channel, how they are selling the books, soft copy, soft book or hard book, bound book. You must see the scope and you see the readers, the audience. You tailor your submission to the specific requirements and preferences of the target journal or target publisher, and you try to ensure the alignment with their editorial focus and standard. Because you see, upon completion of the thesis, you need that the thesis must have a permanent, I mean to say, any audience, any readers, any scholars may get it for further reference. So you need to publish that one. But before publications, what I have told, you have to take care. You need very clear writing and clear presentation. You must go for critical analysis. You go for rigorous methodology. And the next is adherence to the guidelines. Review, you see, the guidelines provided by target journals or the publisher must be requiring some formatting process. Whatever you have written in your citation style may not be appropriate for all publishers. You see what exactly they need. Then only you can publish your thesis. And word count limits also you have to see, because they might have some restrictions. And you ensure the compliance with the ethical standards. If you need a very, very reputed journal or reputed publishing house, including proper attribution of the sources, disclosure of the conflicts of interest, and adherence to the publication ethics will lead you to publish your paper in a very, very reputed house. And you need for effective communications of findings. You craft a very compelling, well-structured manuscript that it very efficiently, effectively communicates your research findings, methodology, and implications. Clearly articulate the significance of your research, its contribution to the field, and emphasizing novel insights and practical applications. Suppose you have taken 200 literature review in your thesis. It does not mean that all 200 literature review will be taken at the time of publications of your book, because the publisher having some I mean to say the end point, how the book will be sold in the market. If at all like thesis you will be writing, so the reader's volume will be very less. You have a ready-made manuscript with you. You design as per the need of the book, and you engage with review process. You respond promptly and very professionally to the review feedback. If at all you got any queries, in any questions, you immediately you reply, and use reviewers' feedback as an opportunity to strengthen your research and enhance the clarity of rigor of your arguments. And you need a very strategic networking and collaboration for publishing your academic proposition. Because you see, you need a very collaborative mindset it requires, because you need your colleagues, your peers, your mentors in this field. You can go for co-authorship. It does not mean that because you see, co-authorship always strengthen your ideas. And you attend different conference, workshops, networking events to showcase your research, exchange ideas, identify potential publishing opportunities. And the resilience, the persistence, the resilience. You recognize that publication process can be challenging and competitive and requiring patience, resilience. Be prepared to face rejection also. Use feedback constructively to improve your manuscript or improve your thesis. It does not mean your thesis has been approved by your university and you have qualified, but that does not give it never gives a guarantee for high quality publications. For high quality publications, you design the thesis manuscript as per the requirement of the publishing house. Open access and public engagement. You see, always open access journals or publishers you must prefer, because open access can increase the accessibility and reach the broader audience, bigger audience, number of audience. So your book citation, your paper citation will be very high. And this is the format of writing a paper. You have to write the title, and you have to go for one abstract. You remember that abstract must include the background, aims, methods, and results, and conclusion of your research. Abstract always been written at the end of, after completion of your writing. That is why abstract carries the background, the aim, the methods, results, and conclusion of your research. After abstract, you go for introduction. Introduction is the, here you are going to place the available knowledge. What you aim to achieve, you have to write in introduction. Then you land for literature review. Then you land for objectives. Then if required, you take the hypothesis. Then you go for the method. Here you have to write down the significance, what method you have chosen. Then results. So here you have to, in this section, you have to bring the results in form of what you have experiments, through your experiments. So to establish your result, always you give different include tables and figures. It will give support to your result. Then discussion, when we are talking about discussion, here you can discuss about your experiments, and then you will go for conclusion. In this section, you are going to conclude with your major findings and their importance to the field. Then references you have to take. You remember what references you have taken, that must be cited inside the text. And this references list of sources must be acknowledged in order to provide appropriate credit to the researcher. And this is the criteria of rejection. If at all you are unable to answer the questions, the answered questions was not interesting enough, that means your gap finding is very narrow. In that case, the rejection may come. And the question has not satisfactorily answered before. Wrong hypothesis. The methods could not address the hypothesis. Research is unpowered, undermined. And contradictory manuscript, contradictory thesis. And the conclusion does not support the data. In that case, you are going to lose the, the rejection may come. But I'm sure that if at all you are going to follow what I have told to you, these will never affect to your contribution. And with this, I must conclude myself. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. And I promised you to show something what I told. I am going to show you. Just a minute, please give me some time. And madam, I have got 5 minutes. Can I show one slide to the participants? Let them enjoy the. It is a research PhD proposal. Recently, I have made for my student. So I want to show before the participants. Is it visible, madam? Is it visible?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the topic has been taken by the scholars with my consultation, exploring consumer attitudes and behavior towards herbal remedies, a critical analysis of 2 major divisions in Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh is a state. So how you will write rationally of the study? You see, you have to find out all those points first. Why this study is important? Why it is a critical study? That you have to, I have just recently I completed, so I wanted to show you that why this is important for the stakeholders, for the healthcare providers, for the policymaker, for the business, for the consumers themselves, and what are the opportunities and challenges associated with this herbal remedies, and what is the evidence-based decision making of the healthcare sector, that I have taken as the rationale of the study. Then the next is research gap. So you see, when you are going to find the research gap, you remember all those points. On that basis, you will search the literature review. You will go for literature review. Is comparative analysis, whether there is a gap. socio-economic influence, cultural socio-economic influence, healthcare access and utilization, knowledge and awareness, regulatory environment, integration and conventional medicines, and emerging trends and market dynamics. Because these are the research gap I found, and I suggested my scholar to take all those things. And with this, I have find out some research problems. Limited understanding of local briefs and practices, diverse socioeconomic profiles, perception of effectiveness and safety, access availability of herbal remedies, integration with conventional healthcare, quality control and safety concerns, impact of marketing and information sources, then cultural sensitivity and ethical considerations that I have taken here, because that researchers can contribute to the development of the evidence-based policies, healthcare interventions, and educational initiative aimed here through this kind of like research problems. And when you got the research problems, you can convert that research problems into research questions. So I made 10 research questions. So my dear friends, you should convert your idea into questions. Then only it will be easier for you to take up the PhD research very successfully. So I have taken 10 uh, I mean to say this research questions here, because you see, depending upon the specific objectives of the study, researcher may further refine and expand upon the questions to address the unique socio-cultural economic and healthcare landscape and respective divisions. What we have taken 2 divisions. So I wanted to show you just recently I did it. So I wanted to share with you. So thank you very much, madam, for giving me this opportunity. And I am indeed very much happy that today I could be able to uh, share my views with the participants, with the experts, with the teachers, with the professors, those have been included in this platform. So thank you very much again, madam. Over to Dr. Pratisha, madam.